As far back as I can remember, I've always been fascinated just by how video games worked. What made the good ones good and the bad ones bad, how they were made, and I attribute that to a lot of the games I played in my early childhood, to Mario Advance, to Lego Batman, to the Sonic trilogy, to the Mario and Luigi RPGs, those kinds of things. And gosh, I always thought that'd be the coolest thing in the world to try and make my own games, my own little worlds, you know? But there was always this gripping fear, this insecurity with that. I mean, I didn't know how to make this stuff. God's sakes, I was just a kid when I was a child. And it's not like one person alone could make, say, a game more or less all by themselves. Not one that's any good, or one that could leave any tangible impact on anyone at least. So like, what's the point in even trying? And that was a pretty consistent thought pattern I clenched to for years. And then I remembered, oh yeah, indie games exist. It was mid-2019, you know, like 6 years ago now, as a 13-year-old who just played Deltarune when I decided, hell yeah, man, I'm gonna try to make a game. Why can't I? What in the world's stopping me? After all, there have been so many games created by small groups of developers that lived up to such high heights and changed so many people. And I went far down the rabbit hole, so of course I'd later play Deltarune's divorced step prequel-in-law, a little-known game you may have heard of, and then Shovel Knight, just a brilliant throwback to classic platformers. And I can't forget Hollow Knight or Cuphead, these two stylish and addictive 2D titles that I think speak for themselves. Or Omori, which I genuinely think might be the best storytelling experience in pretty much any game I've ever played. It's one of the two great RPG Maker indie games about a deeply layered protagonist and their relationship with a special light bulb. And I still think that is pretty cool. Or Celeste, which is probably my favorite game ever. Like, I think I'm always going to have to give that regard to Super Paper Mario. I have to, just because that one has everything I want to see in a game. It shaped everything I want to see in a game. But if I was ever stranded on a desert island and I could only ever play one game again for the rest of my life, it'd honestly have to be Celeste. It's the one game I don't think I could get sick of playing over and over and over again, ever. And all this among so many other enriching experiences. I just completely fell head over heels for this whole sort of genre of game. But here's the thing. When you're breathing in all these high-level modern classics, and you're hoping, you're planning, you're trying your damnedest to make one of your own one day, that paralyzes you, or at least it did me. There was this ever-present panic of not being good enough, of not being able to live up to this huge standard. Again, this was 2019, 2020, 21, that time frame, close to 5 years ago now, and what have I done since then? I've set goals for myself. I wanted a game to release in 2023 at one point. It was a personal goal. It was personal. I wanted a game to release primarily on the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4 consoles because those games were kind of my childhood. I wanted to make something that I could stick on my shelf with the rest of those consoles' legendary libraries, along with the works that meant so much to me, something that could hopefully mean something to somebody else one day, something that I could say, this deserves to be here, it deserves it, I deserve it. It was personal, but realistically, that was never gonna happen. I was smack dab in the middle of the worst mental crisis of my life, and yet I tried so hard. I spent days, weeks just trying to learn, to accomplish the most basic things, but I was useless, so I set a new goal. I wanted a game to release in the grand year of 2025 because, well, the Nintendo Switch 2 was releasing that year, and to me, this signaled a new generation. This signaled a new beginning, but that fell through also, and for the same reasons that I mentioned before. I'm at the point now where I don't want to make something just for the sake of making something anymore. I have a story to tell, I have a world to build, I have a style of gameplay that I feel like is relatively new and compelling, but either way, I mean, I've wasted so much time. It looks like at this point it's gonna be, what, I don't know, maybe 2029, 2028, maybe 2027 if I'm really lucky, but even then, I have nothing outside of this unhinged, dedicated obsession I have. I am no one outside of this. I don't do anything. I don't know anybody. This is all I have. It's obsessive. I can't do anything else, and it's hard. And it gets to the point where you start to wonder, what even is the point anymore? What even matters anymore? I mean, you've spent all this time, you've put in so much hard work, and yet you still have absolutely nothing to show for it. It's gone nowhere. You spent up any second chance you've ever had, and that's what I love about OneShot's meta-narrative so much, because it asks, can you get a second chance? It asks, even in the most despairing of circumstances, what is real and what does matter? And I find all of that to be really captivating.